Myleene, do you think it's a good idea?
Oh. OK, so I don't regret much in life, and I am that whole get out there and, you know, live each day. But I think if I had one regret, it would be not getting a prenup.
Really?
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, you live, you learn, and that was a very, very expensive lesson. I think that when you make your marriage vows, and when those marriage vows were written, whether you do it in a Catholic church, or if you're Buddhists, you know, if you do it under Islam, whatever it is, those vows were made in a time that just no longer exists. We live in a different world, we have different expectations.
Love still exists, Myleene.
I would love to believe that. I would love to believe that, and I believed it.
Yeah.
But in so doing, I think, and I don't want to ever become cynical as a result of it, but I think we teach our girls, go and educate yourselves, go and eat this kind of food, go, you know, prepare yourself, almost like a life insurance. We have life insurance, we have insurance for a car, insurance for a house. There's no insurance for a marriage that and these aren't even acts of God that you're wondering what's going to happen. This is somebody else's action. So even if you, let's talk about it as a contract, if you agree and you know, carry out that contract, if the other person doesn't, you are left high and dry. And now we're in a situation where it's now 1 in 5 women that are earning more than the husbands. So they're getting left in a very difficult situation.
You're talking about it almost as a business, and it's not a business.
Well,
I mean,
it shouldn't be, and I wish that, you know, I could speak from your point of view, and it is still about love, but some people do see marriage as a business, men and women alike. You see gold-digging women, which I think is disgusting, but now there's a lot of, you know, guys trying it the other way around.
Marriage is going out of fashion anyway. I mean, you're not married, are you, Kay?
No, I'm not married, but I've been with my partner 20 years. And
yeah, but would you get married?
No.
But you see, in law, you have probably less protection than if you were married. And I think a lot of people imagine if they live with people...
This is probably naive. We have never had a discussion about what we would do about money if we split up. We have never... Have you had that discussion?
No, never. I mean,
maybe
I've been married
for
nearly 25 years, and my mum and dad were married for years and years, but it never once came into the conversation. There was no such thing as prenuptials.
But when your daughter got married
days.
Recently, would she have had one?
It just didn't come into our vocabulary. It's not something that we've ever spoke about.
I think that's wonderful, and I hope it never will. But when my priest, actually, I'm friends with my priest. It's a long story. He used to be a drama teacher. He said to me, "Do you want a prenup?" And I said,
"Your priest asked you if you wanted a prenup."
He was my friend as well.
Right, OK.
We used to drink together and ride on his motorbike. I told you, it's a long story. However...
I want that priest.
But he rang me up before and he said, you know, are you going to go through and get a prenup? And I said, absolutely not. This is for love. This is for love. This is forever. He rang me 6 months afterwards and he apologised. He said, you know, he did what was right for what he thought under God, but he didn't do right by me and my girls.
But
and he should have... Would you get married again?
I think...
Never.
Don't you think the point of a prenup is to protect also children? Because at the moment, when a marriage breaks up, the victims aren't just the person who ends up, you know, without, you know, enough money to live on, but children will become like chattels that will be argued over in court. Now, if anything can reduce...
Well, actually, no, that's
money...
not correct, because what actually happens is things are put into certain boxes. So what goes in within the marriage box is separate to what goes in within the children's box. So the children are supposed to be looked after, you know, maybe from a CSA point of view or contributions from whichever
party. And I think as part of these proposed changes, we are going to look at maintenance arrangements as well.
But the capital this is the problem. Women don't really know, and guys, they don't know what their actual rights are. They don't know what they're entering into. I work in business. I would never leave myself so exposed, and everybody else. Say I was ill or couldn't do the job I was supposed to do that day. I would never leave everyone exposed. But in marriage, you don't know what your rights are. Please, God, it works out, because if it does, we don't even need this discussion. But 1 in 2 don't work out, and you're saying...
But if you've got that doubt in the first place, why would you get married?
Because that's one person that doesn't. But what if the other person...
If it doesn't work, we better set a contract or whatever. I don't think I would have got married in the first place.
Can you read your husband's mind? Can you read every move he makes?
Would you feel you kind of cursed it, if you like, Linda?
Yeah, it just seems a strange thing to do. And I know that, you know, certain people should have been more protected or whatever. But I also think, you know, that whoever gets, like, custody of the children should get more than... It shouldn't be split 50-50. It should be...
OK, well, now you're talking with emotion and with what's fair. But the law doesn't work like that.